What's up, y'all? This is Joy.
And this is Chris.
And we are the Mitchells, and you are rocking with the Mitchells. Please remember, if you haven't done it already, like, share, and subscribe. Click that button below, as I always say. And let's get started.
So, check it out. Today we're talking about immaturity
Meets insecurity.
So,
he was insecure.
She was immature.
We were both immature.
We were both insecure in some ways. So this is a big topic, y'all. We're talking about immaturity and insecurity.
And we've been together going on 15 years this month. And before we got married, we were together in a relationship for 5 years. So we've known each other since 18, 19 years old. So of course, we were young and didn't have a clue. I think we watched each other grow a lot over the years. Hopefully you should be growing if you are in a relationship or just as an individual, period. There were definitely some characteristics that I would say we both had that definitely contributed to our relationship being strained and almost killing our relationship.
I admit I was the insecure one.
Absolutely.
And she was absolutely the most immature. You already heard about her jumping out of moving cars.
I didn't jump out of a moving car.
You already heard about her calling mini mice Mises. You know, based off those two real stories, not alternative facts.
They are alternative
facts. Alternative facts.
They are. It's fake news.
Right, real. Everybody
real
who
fake.
knows her knows.
Anybody that knows me know that that's not true.
Joy would fight at the drop of a hat.
What?
Joy gets mad at the drop of a hat.
People know me.
Immature.
No.
Joy, can I borrow a piece of gum? Borrow a piece of gum. No.
Who borrows gum?
Exactly.
Wait, you can't borrow gum. Are you going to give it back?
See the response of immaturity? Just give the gum away. But I digress. So, as someone who was insecure, it took years for me to come out of my insecurity. And ultimately, I realized that in hindsight, looking at insecurity, I was insecure for reasons that had nothing to do with joy.
Yes. Absolutely nothing. Which I would say is probably most people. When you're insecure, it's never really about the person you're with. It's about you and whatever is in your mind that's causing you to act out in that way.
It's true. So previous relationships that I had with other young ladies, I carried over that feeling of distrust. I carried over that baggage. The prophet Erykah Badu, she had a song called Bag Lady, and I was the bag man, apparently. Don't be agreeing with me. Anyway, I carried baggage over from...
He had luggage. Like, luggage.
And she had a rattle because she was a baby.
What?
Immature. And everything. Want to fight at the drop of a hat. Just rattle.
Don't have these people thinking I'm out here swinging at people. No.
I'll speak on the insecurity aspect because I was insecure. One thing I realized about my insecurities, like I said earlier, they had nothing to do with her. They had all to do with my past experiences and baggage that I carried over into our relationship. It took some time. It took prayer. It took like me literally fasting and me going back and doing self-assessments and dealing with my own issues and own lens of how I saw myself. It's easy in relationships to, when you're in the lovey-dovey stage, just to not deal with you, because you're so busy talking on the phone late, so busy going and hanging out and holding hands. The honeymoon phase is...
How sweet it is. Till it's not.
Yeah, the honeymoon phase is something that's hypnotic. It'll have you not realizing what you need to deal with.
Yeah. Honeymoon phase is not, it's all lovey-dovey. It's not like all of, how you are when there's an argument or, some type of conflict arises. Yeah. So
actually in conflict, you'll be able to tell if you're immature or insecure. If you're always blaming your significant other,
Being a victim.
if you're always victimizing yourself and woe is me, you did this to me. If you find yourself checking your significant other's phone, if you find yourself questioning their whereabouts when they're not doing anything wrong or doing anything to hurt or spite you, if you find yourself questioning, saying, "Oh, I don't think they love me," or you start picking up like flowers and pulling off rose petals and saying, "Oh, she loves me not, she loves me not, she loves me." I used to do that.
How old were you?
I don't even know. It was a habit. I saw cartoons do it, and it's just like, oh.
I hope you were a kid.
Yeah, I was a kid.
Okay.
But if that's you, and you question the relationships that you have due to the hurt and pain of past relationships, then you just might be insecure. Matter of fact, I guarantee you're insecure. If you're questioning where your significant other is right now, and they've done nothing to cause those questions, you are insecure, and you got to check yourself. It was nothing that she could have did to make me not feel insecure. My insecurities were all on me because of the relationships that I allowed myself to be in.
Yeah, and I remember telling Chris, like, if I was gonna do anything, I'm just gonna break up with you. I was very honest and upfront with him, like, and that wasn't my MO. Like, I'm not messy like that. When I was with Chris, I was with Chris. It was exclusive. So,
and anything that seemed like or made me feel like I wasn't good enough or made me feel like I was maybe less than would trigger an insecurity. Anytime I may have thought that she was giving attention to someone else, for me it triggered insecurity. And that was because I had one situation where there was a girl I was talking to, and she was actually talking to me along with two of my friends at the time. And for me, I'm like, whoa. At this moment when that happened, I'm just like, I was flabbergasted, appalled, distraught, destroyed on the inside, hurt.
sound like he was in love.
I wasn't in love. It was just the principles of how you gonna do this to me. I thought that no girl would want me, but my previous experiences played into my insecurities, because there were times where I thought friends or something, or people that I knew she had no attraction or interest in.
Not at all.
I thought, oh, maybe they may try to take her, or she might find them interesting.
Or if I thought if I complimented another guy, he would assume that I was feeling him or something, and it would be someone I would never in a million years be attracted to.
Right. So it was crazy. Insecurity plays on your mind to where you feel like you can't trust anybody. You feel like you got to look over their shoulder and your shoulder at the same time.
Going through people's phones,
right?
Checking up on them, checking after them, like, and it makes the person you with miserable. Like when he would do that, we broke up one time. We kind of broke up.
I broke it with him. I broke it with him. That's what she gonna say.
No, I'm just saying we broke up because the insecurity. I was just like, I can't deal with that. Like, I'm the type where I'm like, don't blame me for stuff that I didn't do, and that's how I took it. That's how I felt, and it was like, why are you questioning me? Like, I know I'm not doing anything. I'm with you. I love you. Like, I'm not gonna deal with this, and I didn't. It really was. It put a strain, because it's like, if I feel like you don't trust me, then where do I stand with you?
Yeah. And I think insecurity is a sign of immaturity. So like I said, we both were immature and maybe insecure in certain ways. I was insecure with her, but she may have been insecure within herself on certain things. And it all just came out in different ways. But in our last 15 years of being together, from dating to courting to marriage and kids and all that I'm not insecure at all. Like, and I used to give this excuse. I would say, yeah, both of us have. I would say, you know what? It's not me. I trust you. I trust you, Joy. I trust you.
I don't trust them.
It's the other dudes I don't trust.
Oh, I would hear that so many times.
And
but you treat me like you don't trust me.
Right.
there were definitely a lot of instances where I was definitely my response to Chris in a lot of ways were just out of pocket. Just my response to him in conflict, I would definitely be the first one to leave. Like I remember we got into it. We got into the biggest argument over a movie. We were watching Tina Turner. What's Love Got to Do with It? And we were at
What's love got to do with it?
You go sing on every video.
One love and the stocking hand motion.
Was a what?
Stacking hand in motion.
Second hand. You're horrible with lyrics. Anyway, so we were at his house because he lived in Echo Park.
Second hand in motion?
Second hand emotions.
Was she talking about a clock?
What?
Second hand. Oh, second hand, like got it first, but I'm just gonna get these down to you. What? Second hand, like thrift store. I'm thinking second hand, like clock. Lord. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, right. Back to my story.
Sorry.
So we're at his house watching What's Love Got to Do with It? And Chris, he made some stupid comment. I think it was the scene where she was fighting with Ike. Yeah. And he made some comment like, well, she was stupid for staying. And me being the womanist, that I am, I'm like,
still is a womanist, like the ultimate womanist. Like
I'm not. You act like I'm just extreme.
She
like
is one.
Burn your bras. I ain't like that.
She ain't gonna burn no bras, but she is the ultimate Wonder Womanist, Wonder Womanist. Like,
can you stop cutting me off?
She's Hooks from Police Academy.
Shut up, Chris.
She's all her police friends know what that means. She is
because I'm an ex-cop.
She's an ex-cop.
Trying to be funny.
So she's
like,
like,
how you gonna crack a joke that ain't nobody gonna know about unless they know me?
They know you now. She's one of them. I can pee standing up. Watch. Like, what? I don't want to watch that. That's the type of person she is. Well, we can throw football.
If you don't stop cutting me off, let me finish my story.
I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm painting the picture so they know.
Let me paint the picture. I'll let you talk.
You're right. But I want to let them know.
Let me paint the picture.
What love had to do with it.
Let me paint the picture.
The woman is. I'm gonna let her talk. Go ahead.
Anyway. Turn around. You go engage in my story. Sure.
This is my story.
This is our story.
I guess.
Anyway, so Chris made some stupid comment talking about, well, she was stupid for staying. And I was like, what? I was like, I know several people who were in bad situations like that. And you don't know why people stay in those relationships. Like, you don't just make dumb comments like that. I was just like, how could you say something like that? That's so insensitive. And he was just, being a young guy and just like, well, it's just stupid. And I was like, I know family members who have been in domestic violence relationships. He's like, well, they done for staying too. And I was like, are you serious? Like, what is wrong with you? And I got so mad that I walked out of his house. I was notorious for walking out. If I got pissed with Chris, I would walk out wherever we were. I'd walk out in a minute. I did not get out of a moving car. Would you stop telling these people that? I got so mad that I got up and I was like, I'm leaving. I was notorious for leaving. When we argue, if I got to the point of getting so angry and I would just walk out. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. And it wasn't super late. I think it was like just getting, like the sun was just going down.
No, it was 2:00 in the morning.
It wasn't 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning.
People were just starting to hang out.
Ask my buddy Trent.
Whatever.
Trent was my roommate.
Anyway, don't ask Trent nothing.
2:00 in the morning.
It was not that late.
It's people outside drunk and drinking because Echo Park was one of the hot spots for the parties, house parties and stuff. It's 2:00 in the morning. It's late. We wasn't doing nothing, right? We just watching a movie.
Ain't this my story?
But I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm ashamed of that.
I'm telling the truth too. Let me finish.
2:00 in the morning.
It was not 2 in the morning. So I walked, and I walked pretty fast too. I was at the main. It was at Annie Glidden at the street, and at the time I lived in Neptune, and so that's a little bit of a walk.
It's a mile. It's a mile.
So I was like, forget this. He comes chasing after me, following me with his tube socks, these white socks on. He didn't even put on no shoes. He walking after me. I'm like, Chris, stop following me. I'm like, get on the phone. I was like, if you don't stop following me, I'm gonna call the cops. Leave me alone. Stop following me.
I'm trying to get her back. Like, wait, calm down. Let me explain. Maybe I was not saying the right thing. I walk outside in just tube socks for a mile.
And I kept walking.
And she didn't care. And pulled out a phone and threatened to call the cops on me.
It was bad. It was so bad.
I'm like, what? I'm doing this. I'm out here, feet blistered up, stepping in broken glass, getting bunions and corns.
How you getting bunions and corns from walking? Anyway.
Just for you.
I walked all the way back to my residence hall and he followed.
It was like a joke. It was like she laughing.
No, it's just
my feet ain't been right since.
It's not that. It was stupid, you know. God is working on me.
How long it take?
I get passionate.
How long does it take, God?
I get passionate.
It takes 15 years, God, for you to work on a temper. 15 years.
But I can honestly say I am not that same person.
If she was, we'd be dead.
Well, I thought you were gonna say you would be with me. You think I'm gonna kill you? Ain't nobody gonna kill you.
She was a cop. She had a huge temper. People just didn't see
Only
it.
With him though, you know. Oh, Chris would get under my skin.
Even still,
people didn't see the stuff Chris would do.
Nothing.
Lies.
Nothing.
Ooh, he's a liar. Oh, he's lying.
He did nothing.
That stupid smirk. He's lying. Chris definitely would do stuff. People just didn't see it. I was a lot more vocal. But I've never really seen a representation really of a marriage really in motion for real either. Yeah. Or just, you know, like a healthy relationship that I was around to see. And not to say to compare, but you look for those things growing up, or you look for it on TV or whatever.
Right.
I think for me it was just a temper issue and just a level of maturity that I didn't have as an 18, 19-year-old girl, you know, dealing with my boyfriend.
And some of y'all just got to realize you crazy. If you do stuff like checking phones, that was me. I checked her phone a couple times like we mentioned earlier. I was crazy. She was crazy. Jumping out of moving cars. Walking home 2 o'clock in the morning, all type of riffraff in the streets. She didn't care. Scoundrels, hood rats, all that in the streets, and she just gonna make me follow her. I followed her because I loved her. And I knew there was something that we needed, and I didn't want to miss out on who she is and who we are now due to immaturity. And I think you got to realize in those situations, hey, I'm acting immature. If you're going through the same cycles in your relationships, you know, if it's been 5 years, 4 years, a year straight, and you all haven't progressed and made some strides toward not feeling and being the way you are before you enter the relationship,
I agree.
Then you really want to reconsider the relationship that you're in. You'll save yourself time. You'll save yourself heartache. You'll save yourself embarrassment if you really are committed to having a good relationship with your significant other.
And you really have to look at yourself. Like we talked in the last video, like focusing on you, dealing with things that, you know, are part of your personality, or just kind of figuring out, why do I act like that? Where does that come from?
When insecurity and immaturity meet, it is the ultimate recipe for disaster.
Yes.
It will destroy relationships. Yes. You want to be in a relationship with somebody that you can trust, and you all mutually show and demonstrate patterns of trust. I had to ask myself, how would I feel if she checked my phone? I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I like it, right? I don't like it. I don't like it. Right? I had to think about it like that, right? And so for me, at that moment, after I matured and realized that, hey, this woman loves me, and she doesn't want to hurt me, I became more open. Like, look, passwords, you got it. I know for some guys out there, you probably looking like, Chris, what are you talking about? I'm not giving my wife my password.
It's been times
my
where
girlfriend
we've
my password.
It's been times where we've given each other's phone.
Yeah, we like here, take my phone, and because
like
I'm not
if my
doing.
phone was dead, he'd be like, "Well, just take my phone, so you have a phone."
Right. I would rather her have a phone and be able to contact anybody she has to, especially with kids, as opposed to me having a phone relationship.
And we're not asking for the information.
Right. I'm not asking.
What's your password?
What's your password? Let me check your Facebook account. Let me check your DMs. That's not happening. No. I trust her and she trusts me.
Yes.
And so it's one of those things you have to establish that, right? We have to go through the hell and confusion and the hurt and the pain and the distrust and all that in order to create trust. One thing in your relationship, if you're in a relationship that's toxic and you're immature and insecure, you have to ask yourself, whichever one you are, whether it be the insecure one or the immature one, do I want a future with this person? And if I want a future with this person, is it worth me letting go of my insecurities? Is it worth me letting go of my immaturity and growing? And that's, for me, what helped me. I said, you know what? I love her. I don't want to lose her. Because I love her and don't want to lose her, she's worth more to me than these insecurities that I brought in these stupid bags.
And you don't want it to just be that your motivation is for that person. You should want to do it for yourself, because that stuff makes you toxic. Like that's where you start having a toxic relationship, when you're arguing all the time and it becomes very volatile.
Insecurity just doesn't follow you in relationship. It affects you in every way of life. And same with immaturity.
Like Chris said last time, asking the why. To get to the root of it, because ain't nobody got time for that. Anybody got time for that? So your story may not be mine, like with having an anger temper problem, but yours could be you're insecure about yourself, and that spews over into your relationship. Like every time they say you're beautiful, you're like, really, you think so? Things like that. It could be so many things. So I encourage you to deal with that stuff now, because you don't want to bring that type of baggage into a marriage. You will have baggage, but it's certain things that are more manageable than others. There's certain bags that are lighter than others, because I'm not going to act like we didn't have any type of baggage.
Right.
We're not acting like everything was just perfect. Those were just certain areas that we got strong in. But even in our marriage now, we're always reevaluating and looking at different things, because you change over time. And, there are still areas where you need to grow. Like, do that self-care now, man.
Yeah, please do, because that insecurity thing specifically will cause you to blame everybody else and not see yourself. Like, you can't see.
And you're miserable.
You're like John Cena out here. You can't see yourself, right?
You'll be miserable.
He doing this, but you're not paying attention to what you're doing and how you're projecting your hurt, your pain on somebody else. And I've seen relationships where a significant other projects their hurt and pain through insecurity, and you cause that person to go out and cheat, because they say, you know what, I might as well. You think I'm doing it anyway. All right, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, they leave you, and you end up salty and broken, like a broke communion cracker, right? Just salty crackers.
If they got the saltines.
Joy's the type of person who take 5 crackers when we have communion.
No, I don't.
And 3 cups of little grape juice.
Lies.
Talking about, I'm getting this for the kids.
Don't give children communion.
Check your mind. Check your motivation. Check your heart. That's the first thing you want to check, when it comes to, are you immature? Are you insecure? And if you are, if you are both, then you got some work to do. Right. Once again, thank you for rocking with the Mitchells. Show us some love. Thank y'all for watching this video. Peace.